Do you recall the last time that your refrigerator or air conditioner stopped working and you had to schedule an expensive service call? How did the hot air become cold and what components enabled it to happen? The process that we are dealing with is refrigeration. It is one that we deal with in various facets of our everyday lives. The process is used in our homes in the form of refrigerators, freezers, and air conditioning. My name is Ben, and I am a certified industrial refrigeration operator with 8 years of experience operating, maintaining, and managing various refrigeration systems in the state. Over the next few minutes, we will touch briefly on the four main components of a refrigeration system: the compressor, condenser, thermostatic expansion valve, and evaporator coil, and how they work together to cool the air around us. I will also demonstrate how to perform a quick health check of the system. So what we are dealing with is a condensing unit is what you normally see outside of the homes across the US. Inside the condensing unit you have your compressor, which compresses vapor, and then the outside edge of this unit is the condensing coil, which is turning that vapor into a hot liquid. We then have a thermostatic expansion valve and the evaporator coil. The thermostatic expansion valve is there to control the flow of refrigerant to the coil, the evaporator coil. Due to the change in state of the refrigerant from a liquid to a wet vapor, the refrigerant is also at a low pressure and is very cold once it crosses that valve. The thermostatic expansion valve is feeding liquid in a fine mist into the evaporator coil. In the evaporator coil, what's happening here is we have hot air traveling across the coil and cold air exiting the coil. On the liquid refrigerant side, we have liquid refrigerant being fed into the coil. That refrigerant at a cold temperature is now being boiled by the hot air, and vapor is sent out the top of the coil back to your compressor, and the cycle repeats itself. Now we are going to perform a health check of the system. So in order to do this, we have to assume that all components were sized properly on install. This is mainly due to the fact that HVAC in your home is installed in a package deal anyway, so that's why we are assuming this. We will check the temperature going into the evaporator and coming out of the evaporator, and then we will subtract the exiting temperature from the incoming temperature to get a temperature differential. So the tools we'll need is a thermometer. Meat thermometer will work just fine. A dry clean rag, and some tape to hold it all together. So the first thing we have to do is identify your low side and high side of the system. So your low side is always going to be the larger pipe, and the high side is always going to be the smaller pipe, the smaller diameter pipe. So what we're going to do is take an accurate measurement across on each pipe, and then subtract, as I stated before, to find the temperature differential. So we're going to take the thermometer, hold it against the pipe, and then we're going to wrap the rag around the thermometer. From there, we have to take some tape and wrap it tightly. Now, if your thermometer is sticking outside of this rag, it's not going to get an accurate reading. So we just pull it back in a little bit and be good to go. Doesn't have to be pretty, the wrap job, it's just there to create an insulation barrier. So then we take our reading and we repeat that process on the low side pipe, and then we do our calculation. 10 to 20 degrees differential is ideal. If you get a number lower than that, you are at a risk of catastrophic failure of your refrigeration system. Higher number than that means that your air conditioning is probably not keeping up and is definitely not running efficiently. So refrigeration is, in essence, the transfer of heat across two mediums. It might be getting absorbed at the compressor, rejected at the condenser, and absorbed at the evaporator, and controlled at your thermostatic expansion valve. Without one of these components, the refrigeration process cannot succeed, and without one of these components, you would not be able to cool off in the summer. Remember to perform a basic health check before you make that expensive service call. Thank you.